This week marks 1 year since the Pulse nightclub attack in Orlando, Florida. That night was Latin night at the club. There was a Puerto Rican drag queen performing. Just over 300 patrons were enjoying their evening. Last call was 2 a.m. That's when Omar Mateen exited his van parked outside the club, armed with a Glock 17 and a 6-hour MCX rifle, walking past an off-duty police officer's attempted intervention, killing nearly 50 and wounding over 50 more during the course of a 3-hour standoff, during which he pledged allegiance to the Islamic State and described himself as an Islamic soldier before police shot him dead. It was the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil since September 11th, 2001, and undoubtedly deserves due memorial. There is massive local effort to do exactly that. Hundreds of people have left flowers, cards, drawings, flags, countless homages to preserve the memory of those who were savagely robbed of their futures. The club's owner plans to convert the site into a permanent memorial going forward.
Today, it is with great privilege to announce the establishment and activation of the One Pulse Foundation. This community-driven effort is intended to ultimately support the construction and maintenance of a permanent memorial.
The purpose of a memorial is to preserve memory, and the value of preserved memory is twofold. First, we respect those we lost, and we carry their influence forward. And second, we learn lessons from what we are memorializing in the hope that there's less to memorialize needlessly in the future. That's why it's critical to remember accurately and with respect to all of the facts, not just the ones we like. A year ago, 49 people died at Pulse nightclub. Today, Orlando remembers, such is the title of a Monday morning Washington Post piece. Maybe Orlando remembers, but I don't think our author does. 49 people just died. That seems like a purposefully vague way of describing what happened. Was there a bottomless pit in the dance floor that Pulse forgot to put a board over? Perhaps the DJ was especially lit that evening and they all died of hype. Maybe we should investigate any food services that may have catered the evening, perhaps poisoned by Putin as a distraction from all of his election meddling that summer. But maybe that's just the title. Never judge a book by its title, right? Well, this isn't a book, it's just a shit article. So go ahead, judge away. Noticeably absent from the body of this piece are several key terms that are relevant to describe what happened that night. Islamic terrorist attack. Not even the terms murder or kill are in the article body or title, only in a tiny image description. Died is the primary description we get for what happened to almost 50 innocent lives 1 year ago. Since this article provides an incomplete description, an incomplete memory with which to memorialize, it's important to revisit the evidential basis for those missing terms belonging in the story. And we don't need to revisit this evidence for political points. We need to revisit this evidence to understand what happened in pursuit of minimizing or preventing its recurrence. During his standoff, Omar Mateen had several calls with emergency dispatch. Until now, I had never actually listened to them in full, only seen news coverage and glanced at a few transcripts. He is clear and repetitive about his motivations.
I want to let you know I'm in Orlando and I did the shooting. I pledge of allegiance to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi of the Islamic State. Stop bombing Syria and Iraq. The U.S. is collaborating with Russia, and they're killing innocent women and children. My homeboy, Tamerlan Sarnaik, did his thing on the Boston Marathon. My homeboy, Munir Abu Salha, did his thing. Okay? So now, it's my turn. My name is Islamic soldier. Call me Mujahideen. Call me the soldier of God. I fasted the whole day today. I fasted the whole day and I prayed.
But hey, maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe this Washington Post piece is about the memorializing specifically. It's not about revisiting the motive or the cause of the attack itself. Maybe this story is just trying to observe those in grief, and it's not trying to explain the tragedy. Almost a plausible defense, were it not for this particular line. By the end of the night, more than 1,000 people had gathered to remember what happened last June, when Orlando became the first U.S. city of the summer before Falcon Heights, Minnesota, and Baton Rouge and Dallas to be upended by gun violence. To refresh your memory, the incidents referenced in order are the Philando Castile case, the Alton Sterling case, both police shootings, and the Micah Johnson attack on police that immediately followed. So in this author's judgment, 2 police shootings, neither of which have resulted in conviction, though one is awaiting immediate jury verdict, and a Black Lives Matter-inspired attack on police are worthy of a mention alongside Omar Mateen because they're all commonly related by the tool involved. But is it the tool that matters? Would we compare the Nice, France attack and the Times Square car crash from a few weeks ago? Similar tools and similar effects, but entirely different motivations or intents for the damage. Wouldn't it make more sense to compare the Nice attack to the recent London attack, even though the tools were somewhat different? And why would that make sense? Because of the motivation behind the tools. What actually put the foot on the gas in Nice? What actually swung the knives in London? What actually pulled the trigger on hundreds of rounds in Orlando? But that common motivation to this author, apparently, is secondary. Frustrating. But despite that plainly obvious and intentional omission of key information, that's not even the most frustrating piece about Orlando I've seen in the last week. Coverage in the Orlando Sentinel reads, Pulse gunman's motive. Plenty of theories, but few answers. To be fair, the aim of this article is understanding why Mateen chose Pulse specifically. But that aim isn't well characterized by the headline, and the specific choice of the nightclub is a secondary piece of the motive. We don't need theories to explain what the killer himself explains in recorded audio. Why did they attack that particular Berlin Christmas market? Why did they choose the music of Ariana Grande specifically? Why do these jihadis keep targeting densely populated venues? Plenty of theories, but few answers. I suspect it has something to do with setting the infidel carnage record, but that's just a theory. There are plenty of them. We have this paralyzing fear of bigotry, or of being labeled a bigot. But the sin of bigotry is holding prejudice without regard for the facts, without doing the investigative work to find the facts. Bigotry is protecting a preconception at all costs. Bigotry rejects the facts. It does not seek them. It's not bigoted to ask for the facts. And it's not bigoted to be honest about them once they're discovered, which is why we should believe attackers like Omar Mateen when they offer us the benefit of telling us why they do it over and over again. And it's not just in the interest of truth. It's in the interest of prevention. Observing patterns is how we predict future events within that pattern. I understand the risks of such an approach. It is well documented that being straight and complete with the facts is known to put feelings at risk of harm, even cause feeling casualties. But if we end up memorializing feelings a little bit more and memorializing lost human life a little bit less, I'm fine with that trade. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below and especially over on Twitter. That is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to come hang out and chat in my live streams. Those are linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Okay, bye.